The original Faces of Death stirred up a little bit of controversy when it released in the 70s, and now we have a remake, reimagining, whatever you'd want to call this. It's really not a remake because the original Faces of Death movie exists as a movie in the world of this movie. And there's a guy kidnapping and killing people, recreating the scenes from that original Faces of Death and posting them online. The original film was marketed as being so extreme that it was banned in many countries. It has actual footage of people dying, and from what I understand, a lot of it was fake, but some of it was real, and you have various reports, depending on who you ask, of which ones were actually real, but a lot of the really extreme parts that people sought it out for actually just turned out to be fake. I've never seen it. It's not a franchise that I'm interested in. I don't really need to see people die in any capacity. In movies, all day, every day. Hell yeah. I'm very excited for Terrifier 4, but in real life, I just don't really need that. And while this one is not going for that shock of trying to convince anybody that it's real, it makes sense to update that kind of a movie, that kind of a story for modern day. And I really didn't know what to think of this one going in. I thought this could actually end up being really unnerving, or it could be terrible. It's kind of neither. It's kind of just boring. It's shockingly uninteresting, actually. There are some good things, though, and I want to give it credit where it's due. It makes a lot of sense to remake this movie, in the modern day with all the things that we're constantly exposed to online. A lot of the things in the original that shocked people in the late 70s, people seeing them now would just go, that's probably fake. We're kind of trained to do that. Anything we see online that's a little weird, a little too extreme, it's fake. Even before AI started becoming more and more prevalent, we assumed that very often, and now that it's becoming easier and easier to generate all of these images and videos and everything, that's becoming more and more common. And even if you don't assume it's fake, if you see something really extreme online, a lot of people are just gonna think, I've seen worse. There are videos of actual people dying that just kind of get put in front of you sometimes, and you can't do anything about it. And we're desensitized to a lot of it, and there are a lot of people who are just not going to take you seriously if you try to claim this is real and try to claim that we could do something about it. And that's where the main character's plight is very interesting, because she works for this app taking down and flagging content and just making sure all the content on there is appropriate. And when she stumbles across these videos, she's trying to get anybody to believe her that they're actually real, and nobody will. And that's the kind of thing I can get behind very easily with a character, when nobody believes her when she's clearly in the right. And so I can root for her and I can understand this dilemma, and it's very relevant to our modern day internet culture. In addition to just people seeking out that kind of content, or people using that kind of content to get fame, how you can get fame online for the types of things you absolutely should not get fame for. Taking that cult release and turning it into like an online sensation makes a lot of sense to do for a modern version of this story. Barbie Ferreira is the lead. I think she's pretty good here. Like I said, I got behind her character because everybody else is just kind of ignoring her, and I'm rooting for her to succeed. And they give her kind of a tragic backstory, which I thought was interesting, kind of added some layers to her character and added a little extra reasoning why she has the job that she does. And Dacre Montgomery plays the killer, and I have been pronouncing his name as Dacre Montgomery for years. I just found out today that's not how you say it. But Dacre Montgomery is really good. I feel like I wish he was in a better movie overall. They could have given him something really good to chew on here. I think he could have delivered like kind of an all-timer crazy guy performance. But the script is a bit limited with what they allow him to do. There's not a ton really to this character to separate him from so many other crazy guy serial killers that we've seen, but he still does really well with what he has. He's one of the more memorable, interesting parts, just being kind of unhinged, this fake voice, this fake persona that he puts on when he's trying to act normal in front of people that's like so obviously fake. And yet I feel like that's kind of the point, and a little bit of the humor of the character, that he is so messed up in the head that even when he tries to act normal, it's very clearly absurd. And there are some good practical effects, but beyond that, this movie just really didn't go as far in any way as I would have expected it to. You're not going to get that kind of shock that you got from the original in the 70s. Like, we know this is not real. We are very desensitized. But even still, I expected a lot of this imagery to be way more intense than it was. And it's pretty tame. Like, there's a few good gory moments, but there's nothing in here that's really gonna stick with me, and I feel like it had the potential to do so much more. There's nothing scary, there's nothing tense, there's nothing even like a little bit viscerally disturbing. There's really none of that at all. It's just kind of a very standard serial killer story. It's very clear how everything is going to play out once she starts finding these videos and investigating. It's all just kind of paint by numbers, beat by beat, exactly how you expect it to go, with very little surprise. I don't think it really delves as deeply as it could have into the social commentary, especially with the villain's motive. I was super disappointed when you finally get the villain monologue where he explains what his deal is. What they give him is like the baseline for what his motive should have been, like the starting point. That's what we're gonna throw in there for now as we're working on the script. We'll come back to it later, we'll expand on it, we'll make it more specific, a little more complex. But then they never did that part. They just left it at the starting point. It's like the most generic base motive a killer like this could have. And when you get into more of the specific things he does throughout the movie, like how he chooses his targets, he always picks people who are semi-famous, like a TikTok star, an anchor man, people who have some fame to them. And just some of the details of the way he operates. You want to know why he does things exactly the way he does. But then his motive is so generic. It's like, that's it? You could have gone so much further. Like the social commentary here could have been nailed home with the villain's motive. Like, that would be the way to do it. And they really dropped the ball. Like, you just kind of make this guy the same as so many other serial killer characters that I've seen. There was no need to remake Faces of Death in order to give us a character or a motive like this. This guy could exist in 7,500 other movies, and that's super disappointing, and especially because I think Dacre Montgomery could have done so much more with a more interesting character. This is one of those horror movies that suffers from people being dumb syndrome. The main character sometimes, oh man, there are moments in this film where you just want to scream at the screen, run. Literally, the thing you are doing does not need to be happening. It is of no use to you to be doing that thing right now. You can take care of that later. Run. And they just hang out for 10 seconds, 20 seconds. You're still not running. What is happening? And as much as I understand some of the commentary it's going for about people not believing the main character, there are so many people in this that are so dumb. I don't know if I can fully buy into it. Some people will be able to, but there are some lines in here that got crossed for me where I'm like, you're not even gonna check. You're not even gonna listen to this a little bit. Of course, there's like, we have to protect the sanctity of the app. We wouldn't want people to think that our app is bad. I know there's like the possibility of saving somebody's life, but what if our app loses money? Greedy corporations, that kind of shit. Of course that shit would happen in real life. But other than that, you have officers of the law and other people who, there's literally a missing persons report out for one of these guys. He is known to be missing. And he's the guy being killed in one of the videos, and she has identified him as such. She's like, look, that's the guy. He's a real dude, and he's missing. And there he is, in the video, dying. Apparently nobody cares about that. It's like, literally, there he is, we found him. But nobody's interested, and they don't actually show her revealing that information to anybody. She tells it to her boss off screen, and when we see her talking to a cop, she doesn't specifically show her that guy, and if she does, again, that was also off screen. And I feel like that was intentional, like maybe they knew it didn't make any sense, so we'll just kind of have it be in dialogue. But I just didn't really buy it. It felt like somebody would do like literally the bare minimum anything about this, right? Somebody would do something. I think so. So this is far from the worst horror movie, the worst serial killer thriller I've seen so far this year. Did you see Psycho Killer a few months ago? Ugh, what the hell was that? But it's really forgettable, and that's unfortunate. Like, I almost wish it was terrible. Not really, but you know, so many of those experiences are at least more memorable. And for something like this, such a unique kind of meta commentary on faces of death that could be very appropriate to do in the 2020s, to have it be so bland and something I'm gonna forget very soon, that's a shame. It could be worth checking out at some point if you're way into serial killer films, but I don't think it lives up to its potential at all. It's okay at best. A little boring even at only 90 minutes because there's just nothing new here. There's nothing really special. But leave your thoughts in the comments. This was all just my opinion. If you've seen the original or any of the other ones and how they affected you, how you think they compared to this one being more of a traditional narrative film, and if you liked it more than me, if you got way into the characters or whatever, let me know all of your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more from me. Next week, we got Normal with Bob Odenkirk. Looking forward to that. And The Mummy. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about that one. I hope it'll be good, but I'm a little unsure. Also, Mother Mary. I don't know if I'll see that one. I don't know if that'll be my kind of thing, but I'm curious at least. We got some potentially good stuff coming. But thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time.